One of the hardest areas for a candidate to deal with in an interview process is when their background is perceived, rightly or wrongly, by the employer as being a bit unconventional, i.e. they don't have the normal background that employer looks for when they are sourcing new recruits to join the company. So if you know that's the case, it doesn't even really matter whether you agree with it or not, but if you know that you are being perceived as being a little bit unconventional, it's really important that you bear in mind that sense of unconventionality. You are going to have to convince the person at the interview that despite having a background that is not typical, that you are the right person. Now that in itself is quite the challenge, obviously, but what's going to happen off camera, if you will, once you've left the building, is that inevitably that manager that you've met with, who maybe you have managed to convince, or at least you've taken them a fair way down the path, and they're now thinking, yeah, I'll definitely get you back in. You were pretty good. I liked you. It's going to work. Or it can work. What's going to happen, of course, is that Jenny, let's call her Jenny, you've just been interviewing with. Jenny's the manager. Jenny's on her way back to her desk. Jenny walks down the corridor, bumps into, let's say, Linda. Linda is Jenny's manager. Now, Linda says, oh, Jen, how did you get on in the interview room? I saw you in there earlier. How did it go? Jenny says, yeah, really good. Linda says, all right, so is she working at such and such a type of company now? Jenny goes, oh, no, they're not actually in our market at the moment. They're not in our sector. They've been doing something a bit different. Now, Linda hasn't met you. All that's happened is Linda has heard that like one line and thought, oh God, that doesn't sound right. That's not what I expected Jenny to be doing, or that's not what I told the recruiter Mark to look for on our behalf. Why on earth would Jenny be getting excited about that person? Now, Jenny's got a real quick decision to make here, particularly if it's with a boss. She's got to decide, is she willing and able to fight for you? Have you given her the ammunition to argue the case with somebody else? Is she able? Did you physically give her a business case, an objective, cold-eyed, clear-eyed, rational business case? That's giving her the ability, being able to argue in your defense. The willing bit is sort of somewhere in here. It's kind of heart or it's gut, but it's somewhere more internal. It's more emotional. It's more about, I guess, EQ and empathy. You've got to give her a desire to argue on your behalf. It's not enough that she knows what to say. She's got to be willing to actually say it to someone who is, if you like, disbelieving, who hasn't met you, who doesn't really understand why you would be appropriate. So you've got to focus on that issue. You've got to be giving Jenny, the manager that you've met with, Jenny's got to be both willing and able to fight for you. If you're unconventional, you need to be really clear on that, because some version of that conversation is definitely going to take place, and if there's a recruiter involved like me, you and I are not likely to have much, if any, impact or visibility of that. So you've got to do the hard work in the interview so that Jenny is motivated to fight for you later. Good luck with that.